I want to just segue this to another discussion, which is related, not to the mandates in general, but this idea of dehumanizing people based on vaccination status. And there's a bit of a victory for True North in here because all of this has come about in basically the last 24 hours. And I'll set the stage here. The city of Toronto launched on Friday a 5-video ad campaign. And in these 5 videos, they were promoting the fundamental message that vaccination is something you should do for your children from 6 months to 5 years old. The vaccines for COVID are not, well, against COVID theoretically, are now available for infants as young as 6 months old, right up to age 5 and then beyond. And they were trying to promote this to communities that have lower vaccination rates. And quite frankly, children at that age have low vaccination rates, in part because the vaccines were just approved, but also a lot of parents are thinking that it's just not necessary. The virus is mild enough at this point. The vaccine doesn't protect against transmission. So it's just not necessary to get a 6-month-old or a 1-year-old or a 4-year-old vaccinated against COVID. And the city of Toronto evidently didn't like that. And they ran 5 videos, and I want to share with you all 5 videos. They're only about 20 to 30 seconds each. In fact, I think all of them are like just 20 to 22 seconds, with the exception of maybe one. But they're all very short. And oddly enough, I agree with like the first 80% of most of them, but they all just go a few seconds too far. And the first one I want to play is the one that went absolutely viral yesterday, and I think triggered most of the backlash. I caught wind of it on Twitter, and it was after everyone was tweeting about this that I actually looked and found there were more of these things which had gone under the radar. But this is one that effectively talks about kids being indoors and the harm of that, which may sound like a message you agree with, but take a look.
Mom, can I go outside and play with my friends?
No, honey, there's still something going around.
Okay.
It's actually rather heartbreaking. A girl who is being kept indoors by her mother, by a government. I mean, it's not quite clear. And the implication is that all her friends are able to play and have fun and have a good time outside, but she can't because she's unvaccinated. Is that why? That it's not safe for her to be outside playing? This was the one that really exploded. The one that bothered me the most, and I may be alone in this one, was this one that actually had an infant in it. And that was why I don't know, the girl, I mean, obviously this may just be like a really talented baby. I mean, who knows? Her facial reactions were perfect for the message they were trying to convey. But it was telling parents not to miss certain moments. Oh, again, a good message. You don't want to miss moments with your children. But again, take a look.
Oh, so cute. Yes, you are. Yes, you're very cute. When can we see her? We would love to see her. Squeeze those cheeks. Look over here. Look over here. Oh, cutie.
Don't miss those moments. Connect in real life. And again, the only way you can visit that newborn, the only way you can see that little cherub of an angel is if she gets vaccinated at however many months old she is in that shot. No pun intended on shot. And the list went on and on. This one, again, talking about human connection, the importance of human connection.
Hey, Siobhan, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Hello, Siobhan? Are you there?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Human connections stronger than internet connections. I agree. It's a shame he can't just go out and see his friend face to face. Well, he can. He can. Oh, but he's not vaccinated, I guess. Oh, yeah, there we go. We have to push the vaccination message 6 months to 5 years old. And I have always, as a general rule on this program, steered away from talking about the science of vaccines. And I think the reason is very clear. I'm not a scientist. I'm a civil libertarian. I can talk about this issue, and I find it more interesting and more important to talk about in the context of civil liberties and the right to make the decision for yourself. So the reality is most people who comment on this are not scientists. So they're relying on the scientific expertise of others. And you can find scientists saying conflicting things. So it's a matter of which person in the white lab coat you trust more than the other person in the white lab coat. But the one area where I do have more confidence speaking authoritatively, because the science is so clear, is on the effect of vaccinations on children. And the risk that is really at the core of why someone gets vaccinated is negligible for children. If you look at the numbers for the entirety of the pandemic, for the entire country of Canada, 39 children have died and have been logged as COVID deaths since the very beginning. Now, I do not want to diminish those deaths. Any death of a child, any death of a person is tragic. But it's worth noting that in many of those cases, most of those cases, it is a death after a COVID diagnosis. It's not even by the record keeper's own admission, a case where it's a COVID-caused death. If you're talking about a healthy child that doesn't have underlying health issues, that doesn't have comorbidities, their risk of serious ailment, hospitalization, death from COVID is not what it is in an elderly person, a very obese person, someone with a lot of underlying health conditions, and we shouldn't pretend it is. Denmark, as just one example, a few weeks back decided to ban COVID vaccination of anyone under 18 unless they had an underlying health condition, because they said, in Denmark's case, they said that the risks outweighed the benefits. The UK has gone a bit of a different direction. They've said it's available to kids as young as 5, but they're saying it's non-essential. And they're saying that you can't take a one-size-fits-all position on this, which is effectively what the city of Toronto is trying to do here. Say that every child must receive the jab and cannot live a normal life, cannot engage with the world around them, cannot do kid-like things without it. Now, the little glimmer of good news here is that pretty much everyone thought those videos were awful. Even the city of Toronto has acknowledged those videos were awful. Brad Ross, who is the chief spokesperson for the city of Toronto, he has said they've been pulled. The city right now has paused the campaign and is trying to go and reevaluate the meaning. Originally, he had said that they were retracted, but they didn't really apologize for them. But I've seen some other reports. There's one in particular here where he acknowledges that the message itself is just wrong. I'm reading an article in I think it's Global News, or it might have been CBC. But he said that the message is not sending, or it's not sending the right message here. He's saying that even public health officials were unhappy with them and hadn't seen them and hadn't reviewed them. I did a little bit of digging, and the videos, which cost $4,000 each, I think they should be demanding a refund on that, but it's neither here nor there, were produced by some Toronto film program that mentors Black, Indigenous, people of color, and LGBTQ2S. I think that's it. There might be another one in there. Filmmakers, and they do this in a way to, try to foster the development of the media and arts industry. And they're the ones that made the video. So at least it wasn't like some really expensive $100,000 contract to an ad agency. But even so, the core message of this, it plays to parents that are so fearful of the world around them, that either furthers them trying to keep their children isolated from the world, or it shames parents who, for whatever reason, have decided that vaccinating their children against COVID is not something they want to do.